Good afternoon. Oh, come on. You've all had too much lunch. Asturias, food. Oh, I eat too much. I'm going to speak English today, but so please, if you don't understand my wonderful English, you will never understand my wonderful Spanish. So please, just take one of these headsets, and for translation, there are only two channels. One is Spanish, one is English. Now, my name is John Bell, and why am I here? I don't know, really. I'm here because I'm so up and running with everything in your businesses. No, I'm not. I'm a travel journalist. That's my job. And, of course, like many of you here, I'm also a consultant. Do you know the definition of a consultant? Well, it's very, very important that you should know this. A definition of a consultant is a man. Note that, a man who knows every position in the Kama Sutra, but doesn't have a girlfriend. So, there we are. Now, my job really here, and it's a pleasure to be here. I've always wanted to come to Asturias. It's a pleasure to be here, and my job really is to be two things. I am a clock, and I am a signpost. Why? Because the breakout sessions are going to be really, really important to us, and the clock is even more important. I sat down today and did a very journalistic thing. I worked out, looking at the program, how many speakers and interventions there are going to be in the next 2.5 days. And I also calculated that if every one of those speakers went over by 1 minute, we would need another half-day conference to finish. Now, I understand tonight, for Spanish people here, I wish there are many, that there is some football match. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I'm very proud of football after last night. 6-1. Oh, Spain won't beat Morocco 6-1 today. But, and this football match, we all know, starts at 8 o'clock. So if all speakers go more than 1 minute, that's the end of football. So timing is important for the next 3 days. And so that's enough of me now. I'm going to go straight on to our introductory speakers here. And I'm going to ask Isabel here, Isabel Garanya. I'm not going to go through all these titles. You can read everybody's title, can't you? So Isabel, would you like to start the conference off?
Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much to all of you to be here. Thank you very much, dear Julio González Zapico, Director General for Tourism of Asturias. And on a personal note, I have to say that I'm delighted of being here because I'm Spanish. I'm the Regional Director for Europe of UNWTO. I'm Spanish, and this is my home region as well. So I'm very proud of welcoming you all here. My thanks also goes to Antonio Nieto, is the Director of Cooperation and Tourism Competitiveness of the Ministry of Tourism of Spain. And of course, I also would like to thank Mr. Santiago Granda Garcia, the magnificent Rector of the University of Oviedo, who are all of them together with me this afternoon at the podium. On behalf of UNWTO, I want to thank you all for the excellent cooperation, and I'm very much looking forward to these days that we are celebrating our second edition of our Smart Destination Conference. Dear friends, over the last decades, tourism has experienced remarkable and sustained growth and has become one of the fastest growing economic sectors in the world. As you know perfectly, and of course, tourism is the third economic activity worldwide, comes only after fuels and chemicals, and surpasses food products and automobiles. Tourism today accounts for 10% of the gross of the GDP, 7% of international exports, and provides 1 in 10 jobs. Also, the supply chain allows tourism to have an influence on many related sectors, ranging from construction to agriculture of telecommunications. However, we need to find a fundamental balance between growth and sustainability. Why? To ensure a positive impacts on economy, environment, and above all, of course, on the people. And for that, continuous research, technology, and development are the key. Today, after the success of the hackathon during the weekend, we are very happy to welcome the academics and startups from all around the world who have the generosity to share with us their latest research results and innovative solutions. You are the true catalyst, the idea generators that tourism needs to deliver on its promise of being a tool for a positive change. So certainly we are very much looking forward to the presentations this afternoon. You will provide us with a perfect lead up to the conference starting tomorrow. So let's enjoy this afternoon. I'm confident that we will be filled with thought-provoking presentations, interactive and inspiring discussions, and new findings of this amazing subject that is indeed the present and the future of our sector. Thank you very much, and thank you again for being here all. Thank you.
Much, Isabel. And there's something that I should point out to you, and it's right up here in the corner, is the hashtag. So I would like you all to join with me in repeating this hashtag, okay? I'll do the hash, you have to do all the others. So hash SDWC 2018. Okay. Now, whatever else you see, this is the hashtag. You might find some other areas where it's not written in the same way. But SDWC 2018 is the hashtag, which I'm sure will be used a lot. And I know the hotel has had to beef up its whole operation, electronic operation here to accommodate all of you. And I'm sure you'll be there doing that all the time. Now, Isabel, thank you so much. Antonio, may we invite you to speak?
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vice Chancellor, dear Julio, General Director of Commerce and Tourism in the government of Asturias, Isabel Caraña, all the representatives for the tourism industry from different regions, dear authorities, ladies and gentlemen.
Destinations. This is the second time that Spain hosts this important congress in our country. I would like to welcome you to Spain and to this beautiful region of Asturias. He's a great host, Julio. He will have the opportunity to talk about Asturias along these days. But as I said, this is the second time in a row that Spain organizes this second World Congress on Smart Destinations. We gathered in Murcia, as Isabel said, about a year ago. We had some interesting debates, some interesting discussions, and of course the conclusions animated all of us to organize the second World Congress also in Spain. I want to thank UNWTO for trusting in Spain once again, and of course the government of El Principado de Asturias for this warm hospitality and the excellent organization of these congresses. Because in Spain we are committed with this methodology of smart destinations. You will have the chance to see how endeavor we are on these issues. Because we believe that destinations are facing new challenges that need to be tackled both from the public and from the private sector, and if we want to have a sustainable destination. Porque la tecnología nos ofrece la oportunidad
And how can we do it? Well, technology gives us the tools to be much more efficient in the face of growing demand, not just because of tourists, but also because of residents who are becoming more and more demanding. That's why we need to be particularly efficient in the way we manage destinations. That's why we knew when organizing this conference, we couldn't just have roundtables and debates and discussions. We knew that we had to involve and engage the academia. Academic experts are the ones who are university or technology centers have the time and resources to find better tools to tackle and face this challenge so we can better handle smart destinations, not just in Spain, but worldwide. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank the University of Oviedo for all their coordination in the papers preparing for this conference. Also, Segitur, the Spanish Secretariat, for the organization of both the practical and scientific side of the conference. And logically, thank all the people who have devoted very hard work to make the coming 3 days possible, so that destinations are more and more sustainable, also because we're responsible with future generations. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Antonio. From me, coming from the United Kingdom, to see somebody from central government coming to a conference and taking part in it, I can't believe it. We don't even have tourism in the name of the ministry. And who's the minister? I have no idea. And I really, really welcome your presence here. Thank you very much indeed. And Santiago, another thing, as somebody who teaches in a university, this merging of academia with industry is something which I know the students welcome. So we welcome you here as well. Thank you so much.
So good afternoon, everyone, and I'm really delighted to be here today and tell you a few words in the name of the University of Oviedo. So I will speak Spanish from now. So, estimado señor director general.
Mr. Julio González Apico, General Director of Commerce and Tourism from the Government of Spain. Ms. Isabel Garaña, Regional Director of Europe for the UNWTO, Mr. Antonio Nieto, Deputy Director General for Cooperation and Tourism in Spain. Ladies and gentlemen, it's such a pleasure to be here at the second conference, the second UN, where we are paving the way for the future of tourism based on innovation, sustainability, governance, and accessibility. We have here to be more committed with a more sustainable world, at the same time as we have our communities, our society developing respectful. This is a society to be present at this conference. That's why I didn't maintain the 17 objectives that the United Nations highlighted in the Sustainable Development Agenda for social, economic, should have society at large, academia and R&D, and then be transferred. We train people and we tourism and technologies worldwide, and focusing on main topics: tourist destination management, better technology to measure sustainable tourism, the connection between tourism and circular economy, and the relevance universities and academics with research and of Tourism and Social Sciences is a good going fine. What we're saying, is being streamed so that anybody anywhere can listen to what we have to say. I should also say that we're terribly, terribly proud and most impressed as arisen businesses and organizations were changing to experts and institutions that are here for the conference. The government of Spain as well, and mostly, first and foremost, the Secretariat of Tourism for trusting us, for deciding that we would be a good venue. And I can assure you that public institutions, both local and regional institutions, and our private sector in our region have been letting me know that they're very, very positively impressed and also very proud that you've probably seen that for some 30 years we've been doing things fairly well in the field of tourism, because our region was known in the past for the heavy industry, for mining, for farming. And back some 30 years ago, some people started to talk about tourism and how it could be part of the change in our economy, a new pillar for our regional economy. So once again, I would like to thank the UNWTO for trusting us. And when I say us, I don't just mean my institution, the regional government, for trusting us in Asturias to be your venue, for you to come here and meet. It will be very, very positive for us. It will open a new horizon for us in the field of tourism, and not just tourism, but also other fields like technology, governance, accessibility, and sustainability. Those are elements that are very, very much present in our roadmap, our sustainable 2020 horizon. But even beyond that, in the building of a new type of tourism in our region. We have the best experts in these fields, research in innovation connected with tourism. And I will just finish my short address just wishing you all the best. All the best for your conference, for your meetings, but also for you to make the most of your stay here in our region, for you to enjoy it. Thank you very, very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. I invite you to take your seats. And thank you. May we have another round of applause for those who have invited us. And we move on to our keynote speech. And really, there's nobody better qualified, I think, to give an opening keynote to a conference like this. If I can ask Maria Benjamina to take the stand. Maria is the founder and CEO of a Spain startup. I've just looked at your website. It's wonderful. I recommend a look at it. And for anybody with Spain startup, the South Summit, you have not a replica of this, is it? But it's something wonderful happening in Madrid in October. You tell us all about it.
Thank you very much. It's really a great pleasure and honor to be here among all of you. And congratulations for the organization of this Congress. And I'm going to speak also in Spanish. So, realmente es un honor estar aquí con todos vosotros.
And such a pleasure. The day before the start of the conference, of a conference as a system where the open innovation ecosystem has been taken into account, where after Spain had been growing for such a long time, so fast, sudden recession, we learned some very, very important lessons, and things started to change even faster. Full of opportunities as long as we change the way we, not just as an organization, but also as people. For instance, employment, changing environment, 2012, with all the, and very, very fast, took our own personal opportunities and also for other to continue or start to be successful in business. Growing country right now, and Spain is full of opportunities in the tourism. Tourism is very strong. How tourism is billion tourists a year, and Spain is the second country. And I'm terribly, terribly thankful for allowing me to give the keynote speech in the opening today. Because we live in this world where big fish swim together with small fish. And no matter how good our innovation department is in a particular organization, we can't innovate as fast as the market wants us to do. We can't possibly invent everything that would allow technology and services and user experiences for all of that to happen in big organizations. That's impossible, right? Which is why more and more we talk about open innovation. I love that term. That means innovation that happens wherever. And the Vice Chancellor explained it very well. Innovation takes place, true, at university and technology centers and research centers, but hang on a minute. A very large percentage of innovation also takes place in startups and has to do with entrepreneurs. So we talk about open innovation in a world where there has to be good understanding between the big cheeses and the small cheeses. Only a little while ago, I was talking to the Deputy Vice Chancellor, and she was telling me very much the same thing. She was saying for us to adapt and change at the pace the market demands, we need to completely change the structure of our organizations, not be top-down, for it to be much more cross-sectional with innovation departments giving support to all the other departments.
But we also need that this open innovation, the relationship towards startups and entrepreneurs, it needs to be close. It needs to be throughout the whole organization, where we all need to be very much involved. The legal department, finance department, purchasing department, all of them. And in the tourist world or tourism industry, it's just the same. I love it, the way that industry is transforming itself. I love the way that big data helps us know so very much that it's beneficial to all of us and it's a business opportunity. I love those people who are rooted into the traditional world, as such as, well, I guess you know, Be Made, where at the hardest time ever, because here we have this industry, this sector, not a matter. I'm a 64-year-old start-upper. That's the way I introduce myself, and I'll keep saying so whether I'm 70 or 85, because they know to respond to the needs of other people, to do things better. That has no other people that would cannibalize on me, so why wouldn't I cannibalize on myself? Because what's good about this industry as which is, let me summarize briefly. Still, I might stop a bit longer and link. We've already said that, and I feel so privileged for so many reasons. Because I've went through amazing times as this one with an upside down translation for that. First, I'm speaking Spanish here, right? But at South Summit, everything happens in English. We need to know something. We live in a global world. International language, and I'm part of a wonderful country as Spain, which we can understand each other. That would be English, and there is no doubt. The north is where rich people are, smart people are, hardworking people are, easy to some extent. And so we said, why? What's that all about? Actually, the south is full with creativity and talent, and people who work really hard and are very good at it. And not just as Spain here. I have an ecosystem now, an ecosystem of entrepreneurs, open innovation goal. Ever since we created South Summit was first, we wanted it to be a list so that we would consolidate our ecosystem. Because when I get asked, okay, for me, the main leading character, undoubtedly, it's the corporate. So the companion, it's a wonderful partner to move it forward, and so we find it's a leading character together with all three stakeholders. Because this is also change. It is all about doing things great, as we've done in the past, when it has to do with training and education, and then companies. But this was extraordinary, and now we actually have startups coming up and projects that are nicely developed and that can respond our company's needs, and then public institutions for sure, and foundations and everything else, where the goal for the administration would be to help countries grow, to help the regions grow, and help society as a whole grow, to have that wealth produced and have opportunities for everyone. That's what South Summit is. It is an innovation platform, a meeting point for all the stakeholders in the ecosystem, especially the business stakeholders, but the promotion is paramount here. The results of South Summit in recent editions have been amazing. When I hear about startups mortality rate, I say 92% of the candidates for the shortlisted projects still alive. So this would be 600 startups still alive. 92% of the shortlisted companies still there, and they are successful in developing their companies. They got over 1 trillion or 1 billion euros in funding. They got very IBM and others. We got shortlisted candidates where an ecosystem where, well, administrations need to understand that, and that the effect of the ecosystem was sort of data on the topic, because I find there are based us 2 years ago. It's amazing their trajectory. A year and a half and has over 600 employees. Amazing the assessments and the investments coming from Silicon Valley and coming from different countries. We really need to buy it and believe it. The main difference between one group and the next group would be how they are favored by the administration. And why is that? Because in Spain, and I know there are other places where things are being done greatly, the ecosystem is developed bottom up. So it is us, grassroots groups, and all of us who believe in it. Through our actions, we're actually making it happen, making the ecosystem be developed. With this idea where we favor it bottom up, as I'm saying, we've managed to make sure that in Europe, the only country that has 2 cities that are top 10 cities, that's Spain. Barcelona, that's number 5. Madrid is ranking number 6. Barcelona is the 4th city in Europe when it comes to international investment gathering, Madrid would be number 9. So once again, we have 2 cities that are part of the top 10 group. So throughout Latin America, throughout the whole of the world, this is quite a bit. What about Silicon Valley? What's the main difference there? Does it lie? It lies in the cultural DNA, but it's not just that. It's not just Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley gets from global investment, 28% of the world's investment goes to Silicon Valley. Why is that? Because it's an attraction pole. Is there more talent in Silicon Valley than in Spain? Not at all. I've been there, and I assure you there is no more talent. It is just a hub. It is clear that they favor talent there, and same happens with Israel. Israel, it's an amazing hub. They are doing it greatly. What did they find in Israel? Well, this is the $1 million question. They're wonderful at it. They've realized that by favoring technology, by favoring the startup ecosystem, what it produces is benefits and income for the country, amazing amounts of them. And that's Israel, where there are some 80 startups or companies that are part of one of the listing quotes. So quote list, or the listings are. So that's amazing. What's happening with Nordic countries? Just